Are you getting divorced? Does your attorney have a clear strategy on how they're going to help you create your best future? Welcome back to Divorce Den, everyone, where we are continuing our 10-part series on red flags that you should look out for when you're hiring a divorce attorney and how you can create your best future by choosing the right attorney. Today we are diving into red flag number 7. Your attorney lacks a clear strategy for your case. As you navigate your divorce process, there are going to be so many things that you're going to have to go through. And you need to ensure that you have an attorney who is there working with you, who has a clear strategy, and that they can articulate that strategy to you, and the both of you are working together. Remember, your case is not cookie cutter. Your case is not the same as the case that the attorney had prior, and it's not the same as the one that they're going to have tomorrow. You have unique situations, family dynamics, hopes, and goals for the future that are not going to be served by an attorney who's doing this sort of as a cookie cutter. You need an attorney who has a clear strategy that keeps you and your family at the focus. So let's dive into why a clear strategy matters when it comes to getting divorced. Divorce can be very complicated. I've talked about it before. It is not like every other area of law. It has its own nuances, its own laws, and its own ways to navigate to help you create your best future. So you need an attorney who is skilled in this area and who can help you create a roadmap that's going to make sense for you in your future. Just know that no attorney is going to be able to set out a roadmap now and stick to it 100%. We never know what detours are coming down the road. We never know what roadblocks are going to be thrown at us, and we might have to navigate around that. But if your attorney doesn't even have that roadmap, how can you navigate around it? And you should also speak to your attorney about what happens if we do hit a bump in the road. How are we going to navigate around that? How will we at least communicate about how we're going to do that? Your attorney should have a clear strategy on how they're moving forward and ways that they can tell you about how they're going to move forward, including those sort of unexpected things. Now, whether it is a case that's in court, your attorney should at least have an idea of where it's going to be from start to finish in general, after reviewing your intake information and after knowing maybe what judge is assigned, who the other attorney is. They can help you create a strategy and a roadmap that makes sense for you while you're in court. I always recommend you stay out of court. So what about an attorney who's going to be helping you during the collaborative divorce model? That's the same thing. You need an attorney who is listening to your goals, to your interests, to your hopes for the future, and they will also help you create a roadmap that makes sense for you even outside of the court. How do you know if your attorney is giving you a clear strategy? You don't do this every day. This isn't something that is in your purview where you understand, okay, well, this is the strategy going forward in any other divorce case or in general how divorce cases move forward. So how would you know if your attorney is giving you a clear strategy? Well, number one, I always talk about it. Follow your gut. If your attorney is giving you sort of vague answers, non-committal ideas, oh, maybe we can talk about this. Or, oh, yeah, so when it comes to custody, yeah, maybe we can consider that. Sometimes they don't have the answer, so I do understand that. But if you're not able to then create a strategy as to get you moving forward, as to get you what it is that you're asking for, what your interests are, and they are sort of vague about it and throwing their hands up like, oh, let's kind of see how this goes. That's different than them saying, you know what, this poses a unique situation and I need to do a little bit of research on it. Or let me talk to another attorney so that we can start to create maybe a legal framework that we can work within and then help you create that roadmap. Or I just need a little bit of time to assess it. I do that all the time. We don't always have the answer in the moment, but we're going to start creating it so that we can work together. If your attorney is not able to at least do that and say, okay, let's think about how we can work on this. I don't have all of the answers now, but we will certainly come up with them together. And instead they say, I don't know. Or let's talk about that another time. And then you never actually talk about it another time. And there isn't a clear roadmap going forward. Then you'll know. Again, trust your gut. You know when your attorney has you on the right path, or they're just sort of maybe grasping at straws because they're too busy, or they're not really sure where it is that your road is going to lead. Remember, whether you're in court or not, divorce requires a clear plan going forward. That plan can always change, as I've talked about many times, because your case is unique. However, you need to start out from a place of clarity before you can move forward and change that path. If you just start out in this willy-nilly maybe world, maybe we can talk about this, maybe we can get you that, maybe we can focus on something different. That really just leaves you at a loss as to understanding where your future is going to be, and it can cost you a lot of time and money. What if there is a lack of strategy when it comes to the actual legal process? That is a huge red flag. Your attorney should understand what the next steps are when you're in court, or even if you're in the collaborative model, but specifically when you're in court, because there are certain timelines that have to be met. The court will set out orders that give clear instructions onto what date something is due. And you need to make sure that your attorney is letting you know, here's the strategy. We have to have X document filed by this date. We have to have Y document completed and shared with the other side by this date. Whatever it is, you want to make sure that your attorney is giving you that information as to what that strategy is going forward. We will get this filed. We will make sure this is completed. And in between, this is the work that we're going to be doing. Let's come up with a settlement negotiation. Let's come up with a date when we can have a four-way meeting. Let's give them a proposal. Whatever it is, you should know that after speaking to your attorney right from the beginning. This shouldn't be something that's happening 6 months in, a year in. I'm not saying that cases don't take a long time. They do. But in the time frame that you're working toward resolution, your attorney is keeping you abreast of the situation every single step of the way, and they have a clear strategy. And why is this strategy so crucial in your divorce? Well, again, first of all, this is your family. This is your family. So, of course, it's very important as to what the roadmap is going to look like while you're getting divorced. And secondly, it's about prioritizing your needs and your goals and your interests for the future and your families. If your attorney is not able to prioritize that and help you create a roadmap, then that's really a huge red flag as to what the outcome might be. And the outcome in a month, in a year from now, is something that you have to live with forever. Your attorney will be done with the case and they will move on. You will not. You're going to live with the ramifications of that. So you want to make sure that clear strategy, that clear roadmap is laid out as soon as possible. So now what do you do if your attorney lacks a clear strategy? If you are determining you're in this for now 2, 3, 6 months, and you notice that your divorce attorney is a little unsure as to where you're going to move forward, as to negotiations, as to whatever it is that your goals are for the future, they don't seem to be focusing on a strategy. They just seem to be sort of pulling at strings. Where is it that you can go from there, and how do you address that? If your attorney is answering your questions very vaguely, be very direct with them and ask them pointedly, I would like a clear strategy, a clear roadmap on where we're going. So can we please have a meeting on the next 3 steps, right? You don't have to ask for from here to conclusion, but maybe what is the next step? What are the next 2 steps? What are the next 3 steps? Let's sit down and strategize and talk about what's really important to me and how it is that you as my attorney can help me get there. And it's fair to ask your attorney about certain challenges that maybe they're having. Is this an issue of not being able to get the documentation together? Is this an issue of us not being able to negotiate maybe the child care arrangements or the child custody plan that we have in place, our parenting plan? Whatever it is that the challenges that the attorney is having, you should know that, right? You can ask those questions specifically and you should know that. And then maybe the two of you can start brainstorming ways to come up with what the solution looks like. In order to create a comprehensive and thoughtful plan, your input is necessary. So when I'm saying this, I don't mean that your attorney should have all of the answers, right? And I don't mean that you should come in and give all of the answers. But you are going to be a team, and working together to come up with that comprehensive plan is going to be very important. So don't think that your input doesn't matter. So speak to your attorney. Again, ask them, what are the concerns? What are the challenges? Is there any way that I can help? Number one, if there are ways that you can get things maybe more organized, hopefully that'll save you money. But also, it lets your attorney know that you're fully invested in this, right? That you are going to put pressure on them to make sure that this strategy is laid out and it's followed. And in addition, it lets you know that you have a lot of buy-in here, that both of you are working together and you're going to come up with the best roadmap. You need to make sure that your attorney is proactive instead of reactive, that they are coming up with ideas in advance, and that when you're giving ideas, that they're meeting you in the middle, that they're hearing you, that they're understanding where it is that you're coming from. And they are just as concerned about your future as you are. So to wrap this up, you need an attorney who has a clear strategy. That is the best way to protect your future. That is the best way to ensure that your family's interests are met today, tomorrow, and in a year from now. So when you're doing your initial consultation with an attorney, make sure that you speak to them about a strategy. Even if they don't have all of the answers now, they can at least set out maybe 2 or 3 steps, like we talked about. Along the way, make sure that you're being clear with your attorney as well. You want to stick to that strategy, or you want to revise the strategy, but you want to be part of it and you want to keep those lines of communication open with your attorney about it. And along the way, you want to make sure that during this process, your best interests are being met and your attorney is helping you focus on those. Thank you so much for watching part 7 of our 10-part series on red flags when it comes to hiring a divorce attorney. If you found any value in our video, please like, subscribe, share with anyone else who might be interested, and give us a comment. What are some red flags that maybe you've seen when it comes to getting divorced with your divorce attorney? Stay tuned for step number 8 in our 10-part series.